Hey, what's up? It's Dan Riccio, Randeep Janda, and we're taking a look at the Stanley Cup playoffs. We're all hoping for a Battle of Alberta, Randeep, but through two games, there's not much give from either the Stars or the LA Kings. Who's in better shape through two games, the Flames or the Oilers?
Come on, Dan. You're already losing faith on that Battle of Alberta. Of course, it's going to happen. All of Canada is wishing for it. Okay. As of right now, the series are tied. Who's looking better? I still think it's the Calgary Flames. I know they've had a rough ride in these first two games. Dallas hasn't made it easy. But when you look at the way that Calgary played throughout the season, they can win games in different ways. And we've seen that in the past. And I still have faith in this team. I know they haven't been able to generate the offense. Rick Bowness has got a sunny mentality. He's got a positive mentality, yet his game, very negative. It's worked thus far. But I look at Calgary, the way that they move the puck up the ice. Normally, they have to adjust to what Dallas is doing right now. They're not allowing them to make those quick passes in their own zone to launch transition, head out of their own zone with speed. So those are adjustments that Daryl Sutter is going to have to make. But I still think the way that this Calgary team is made, especially that top line, but even with the depth scoring, Tyler Toffoli hasn't picked up any points yet, but he's still playing well in the series. It's going to happen. Those adjustments come with time. This is a chess match. You don't fold after two games. So I still think the Calgary Flames, with everything that they have to offer, their balance is still too much for the Dallas Stars.
Randeep, we've seen this movie with the Calgary Flames and this core group over and over and over again in the playoffs. I'm not sure how you can't be worried about the way the Flames have played in these first two games.
Two games. They'll
I
figure it
know,
out.
two games.
They'll
You know how
figure it out.
many? Okay, here's the one stat that I cannot get away from. Through two games, the Flames have one goal, right? And they feel pretty good about the way they played. Listen to Johnny Gaudreau talk after last night. We're getting chances. We just got to find a way past Jake Ottinger, yada, yada, yada. Well, Johnny, that's a very optimistic. Your glass of Dod Soda is half full when you made that comment yesterday because Jake Ottinger, for as good as he's been in the 980 save percentage or wherever it's at through two games, he has one goal saved above expected. One. That's ridiculous, Randeep. Those guys, the entire Flames team, are being entirely shut down. And with the history that they've had in the postseason, I'm not sure how, if you're a Flames fan, you can't be worried about the way that these first two games have played. Johnny Gaudreau, Matthew Tkachuk, Elias Lindholm, as good as they were early in through the entire regular season, not getting to the hard areas, not getting to the dirty areas so far through two games. They are playing right into Dallas's hands. And while yes, they still have a very good chance to win this series, it is not going to be easy, and they have to up their game and do the things they need to do to get into the dirty areas. Matthew Tkachuk can throw down with whoever he wants. He wants to tackle John Klingberg for making stupid post-game comments about Rasmus Anderson. Great. You know what's better, Matthew Tkachuk? Score a goal. That's what the Flames need you to do.
Okay, on that front, though, and you're right, the territorial battle has gone to Calgary's way. Dallas is basically saying, hey, take all the perimeter of the ice in the offensive zone. You can have that. We're not giving anything in the middle of the ice. That's how Dallas has played in the past, and they've worked before. They went to the Stanley Cup final. Here's the difference, though. Here is the difference. Calgary can play the same way, and it's not like Dallas is shooting out the lights. Dallas had 2 goals in the last game. They had 0 in the first game. This is not a offensively inclined team. So when we're talking about Calgary can play that way and also win games that way, this is why I think it's, Calgary's in a good spot, because you're not looking at a Dallas team that's going to really hurt them offensively. So as far as I'm concerned, you have a little bit more leeway against Dallas. Dallas has made it more of a series. If they continue to play this way, absolutely, it's going to be a problem for Calgary. But remember, Calgary can play this way, and they have more offensive firepower. And Calgary's not giving anything up the middle either. Joe Pavelski's goal, great goal. He's a tip king, man. But that was a pretty, nice goal. But at the same time, it came out of nothing. It came out of nothing. And that's why I look at this and say Calgary's got a great chance, but they do have to figure out their game. They do have to figure out how to disrupt that forecheck and gain the entry to the neutral zone with a little bit more speed and really up those rush chances, because Dallas has done a great job of negating them thus far.
Man, Joe Pavelski scoring a tipped goal is like his signature move. It's like Messier streaking down the left wing with the one-footed wrister, or Ovi on the left half wall taking the 1T on the power play. That's Joe Pavelski's game, man. He's always tipping pucks into the net. You know, the other thing about this series, if I see another odd man rush where the puck carrier doesn't pass the puck over to one of his teammates, I might lose my mind, Randeep. Like
Yeah,
Chris
just
Tanev on a 3-on-1, and he takes the shot. Like Jake Ottinger is taking that all day long. And the other thing about the Flames, too, final thing I'll say on this, if John Klingberg is in your heads, you got a problem. Okay. Flames got to stick to their game plan and not let John Klingberg, of all people, get into their heads and their mindset. I couldn't believe the boos that were raining down at the Saddle Dome for John Klingberg. Yikes.
I thought, okay, on that note, though, I thought the way Daryl Sutter and Lucic and Mangiapane dealt with it were 100% right. It's just like, whatever. Flames fans, you don't have to boo the guy. Come on, that was an embarrassing quote on its own. You don't even have to boo the guy.
Yeah, it was a little bit much. I'll tell you why I'm worried about the Oilers, though.
All right.
And I know it's 2 games, it's 1-1, but first game, LA carried the play 5-on-5, a little bit of a worry. Maybe if Mike Smith doesn't make that gaffe, you know, it's a different outcome for the Edmonton Oilers. Second game was the perfect script for Edmonton. They're scoring on the power play, they're getting depth scoring, all of the things working out for them. So it's been about as even a series as you could have through 2 games. But I still worry about the effect the modern day Guy Carbonneau is going to have on this series, and that's Phillip Danault. He had McDavid in his pocket through game 1, and that is going to be a huge storyline. That storyline is not going to go away because as good as McDavid is, as good as all those players that Montreal played through the Stanley Cup playoffs last year, Phillip Danault continuously shut them down. He's Patrice Bergeron light, but he doesn't get the credit for it. And that is still going to be a worry for the Edmonton Oilers. They still have to be better at 5-on-5 if they're going to end up winning this series.
Okay. I agree with you. I got a lot of respect for Phillip Danault in this game and Anze Kopitar. You know, this is a guy that's put up 92 points in the season and also is a great 200-foot player. So I got that. But let's put some respect on Connor McDavid's name. You think this is the first challenge he's ever had? He's taking this personally. Leon Draisaitl is probably taking this personally. He's probably going to watch this video if he gets time to go on YouTube and say, look at that schmuck Dan Riccio saying, I can be controlled by Phillip Danault. No, come on. This is Connor McDavid. The guy put up a career high in points this year. He's a monster in transition. Listen, I understand that there might be worries at some point in the playoffs with the Edmonton Oilers. Mike Smith, that goaltending situation, at some point, it's going to rear its ugly head yet again. At some point, the Edmonton Oilers and their depth scoring is going to be an issue. In this series, they've got the 2 best players on the ice, and they will be able to beat Danault and Kopitar over a 7-game series. Like we've seen in the last game where they just shellacked them. And it felt like McDavid and co said, all right, you know what? Too much respect has been given to Danault. It's time to re-enter this conversation. So I get it. I get the respect. But you've got a 50-goal scorer and a guy that's putting up 100 every single year. Those guys, come on, Reach. Like defensively, there's too many issues, other issues for the LA Kings. Right now, the Edmonton Oilers are targeting their young defensemen. Have you seen Connor McDavid throw hits like this? I haven't seen it before. Obviously, they're saying, all right, young defensemen, we understand. Everybody other than Alex Edler is pretty young on that back end. We're going to target you. We're going to drill you. So to me, I look at this and say, the last game, Edmonton said, all right, we're going to take your weakest part and we're going to go after it. And we got skill guys. It's not a reason to worry for me.
Yeah, Durzi and Edler were taking a lot of hits in game 2. I think the total was 48-46 in favor at Edmonton for the game, but it felt like a lot more than that. The other thing I will say, and this is kind of a blanket statement for the entire playoffs, Randy. Right now, through the first couple of games, it feels like early in the regular season when the refs are overcalling some things, you know, they're trying to stamp out the cross checks and making some soft calls. And, you know, we're hearing ex players and all those types being like, man, just let the boys play. And there is going to come a point, and it probably starts to happen as these series age a little bit more, where the referees do start to put those whistles away. And we saw when Edmonton played Winnipeg last year. Connor
Mhm.
McDavid didn't draw one penalty. That caused them some problems. That's why the Oilers have to continue to be better at 5-on-5. Two players I've really liked for the Oilers actually in this series, and it's not the main guys. We know that they're going to need more from others, but I've really liked Kyler Yamamoto's game and Evan Bouchard's game. They've both been huge for the Oilers so far in this series.
Yeah, quietly, Evan Bouchard's had a really strong season as well. This is a guy they needed for him to step up. Yamamoto, remember, it hasn't been a basically incline the whole way.
Yeah.
There was a lot of games. I think there was a 7-game stretch. He didn't have a shot on goal during the season. He was criticized as well. So you're seeing that secondary scoring, and the revelation that is Evander Kane continues to put up points, right? That's a guy that they need. When you talk about playing a physical brand of hockey and those 48 hits feeling like a lot more, Zach Kassian has a lot to do with that. You get hit by, the Kassian train. It feels a little bit different, but Evander Kane's a part of that too. He gives this team a different element that obviously they're going to use in this series, but if they make it further and if that Battle of Alberta does happen, you can bet that's going to be a physical series as well.
Who do you think is in better shape through 2 games? Is it the Oilers or is it the Flames? Let us know in the comments. We'll respond to as many as we can. Subscribe to the Sportsnet YouTube channel, and we'll see you in the next video.